when are you gonna start talking about Jurassic again? I got a lot of comments like this past season of like, when are you gonna start talking about Jurassic again?
Look, we can't. I mean, we already talk a lot of Jurassic more than anybody we know, basically. So it's like, how can you do it? You have to talk about other things. Also, Jurassic Park reminds you of so many things. Like, it's connected to so many other things. You know, I really want to do. My friend Lindsay, who I had on as the first episode this year, we ended up doing a Jurassic Park episode because she like had a Lost World birthday party and all this other stuff growing up. But originally we wanted to talk because she's seen all the David Lynch, Laura Dern films, and I never have. And it's like, that is such an instrumental part of Laura Dern's career. And I've only ever seen the like blockbuster side of her career, essentially. So I'm like, but that, I feel like if, you know, it's still under the purview and you would still be interested, right? Like, I mean, I don't know. I feel like, at least for us, I think we're still interested in things related to the thing that we like.
I agree. So it's funny. I mentioned those old tapes that I was doing. I was watching one of the tapes, and my mom came into my room, and it was just me and like my friends were hanging out and stuff. We're doing like ridiculous stuff, and she's like, "Hey, I just want to tell you, The Fly is on TV." And I thought, she's like, maybe you guys would want to watch it. And we were kids and we didn't really pay attention, but like, I've never seen The Fly. I've never seen that movie. So tonight I had just watched the trailer because I had actually shown my son Poltergeist for the first time. So
he's holding up for Poltergeist. Wow.
I mean, yeah, I guess. I don't know. There was the whole face ripping off scene. I was like, maybe this is questionable, but so I saw like, it was like what to watch next or something. So I like clicked on the trailer for The Fly, and I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. Like, I don't know if the movie's great at all, but like it's one of those things that's permeated culture, right? Like enough where everybody talks about it still. And I saw that trailer. I was like, why am I not watching this movie? I've got to watch this. It looks incredible. And like you're saying about Laura Dern, like a Jeff Goldblum, he's slamming the table. He's hitting things. He's talking about science. I'm like, that's all I need is Jeff Goldblum talking science, hitting tables, getting angry, and looking the way he does. Like that's all you need.
I mean, I think it's his best performance, even though obviously Malcolm is the most iconic performance, but like, you know, it's a much more dramatic role. And I think it's one of the best sci-fi movies ever made. It's like sad. It's kind of, or I felt like at the time when I watched it, because I included it in a roundup of sad sci-fi movies you could watch on Valentine's Day. So it was like The Thing, Her, Never Let Me Go, Primer. Like, if you need a sad sci-fi love story, The Fly is that.
Is that something you've done recently, or is that an older concept episode or something?
Oh, this was I wrote it as an article for Geek and Sundry. This was like 10 years ago. I mean, it's a good episode idea too, to like pull that out of the. Well, but yeah, it's like,
it's funny because like my other show, Grim Grinning Hosts, we did a theme park episode about like just like some of the worst stuff or something, I think, in a theme park or something, things we hate, like top 10 things we hate about the theme parks, and it was for Valentine's Day. So like
that's so funny.
I don't know why, because we were trying to do the inverse of it, and it just felt fun to do that. And honestly, it reminds me of what you're doing now with See Jurassic Right, where you're doing like the dinosaurs that you dislike or whatever, right? The dinosaurs that you hate. I thought that was such a fun concept because so much we're always talking about all the things we love, all the, this movie's great, this movie's, excellent. Even if most of the world doesn't agree with our sentiments about certain movies, it's just like, oh, we love these things. But then I love it when you can pull out like I really don't like this dinosaur or this movie or whatever it is.
I mean, because it's, it is just like an excuse to learn more about something. I just sent you for tomorrow's episode, I sent you the final, I texted you the final image.
Nice. Okay.
Because it's Andrea's least favorite, or the dinosaur that she hates. It's kind of a big one. It's a much bigger one.
I think she tease it in that episode about like, oh, people aren't gonna like this when I say the one that I have, and I was wondering what it could be. So that's awesome. That's gonna be an interesting one to hear the reaction to. I love that. But that got me thinking, because like I know I mentioned it to you like right away when you mentioned yours. I was like, dude, and it always comes down to like film dinosaurs for me. It's not necessarily like because I don't have a preference about like real dinosaurs per
Sure.
se.
Yeah.
I'm not that guy. But like it's always Jurassic Park 3 dinosaurs. And honestly, like the Mattel version just came out. What was that today, as of this recording, for Beyond the Gates? And I was like, we've seen them when floating around a little bit. The Brachiosaurus, the green Brachiosaur. Between that one and the Ceratosaurus, those two, and it's honestly just it's nothing, like, no offense to the dinosaur or any merchandise that came afterwards, but it's just the way it looks in the movie. It's really just like
Yeah.
the color choices that they made for the movie, and the scene, like the scene that it's in, like the Ceratosaurus in particular. That scene just bugs me so much. I'm like, I
Yeah.
really don't like that scene. It's just weird. I don't like it, and I don't love. It looks like too top heavy or something. I mean, maybe it was, but like I don't know. It's one of those that like really bugs me.
Well, I feel like when they brought it into Camp Cretaceous, it looked a lot better. Like they kind of
Was
perfected it a little bit.
was that like a gray one, right? Isn't that?
Yeah, gray one in
Yeah,
season 2. I think it was season 2,
one of
maybe
those.
season 3.
There
Yeah.
was that. Wait, yeah, I don't know. There's so many things at this point. I've lost track.
I know. I've been meaning to rewatch the whole show,
Mhm.
because I want to do like
Yeah,
a top 10 episodes of like Camp Cretaceous and top 10 of Chaos Theory. I think that'd be really fun.
I was thinking the other day. I'm like, maybe I could do like just a full ranking of everything, and it's hard because like it's hard to rank films against animated television versus I don't know. There's not much else, but like like that kind of thing. It would be very difficult, and I mean individually per season too. So season and throw in Battle at Big Rock in there, and like put
Yeah.
a full ranking together. It could be interesting
Oof.
to think about at least.
Yeah, no, of course it is. But yeah, you're right. It is funny where you're like, okay, here's what, like, I don't know how many. Yeah, because each show had what, like 50 episodes or 60 or something, like close to that.
Something like
Right?
that.
If
Yeah.
each season is like 8 to 12 episodes or something. So having to do that, like, would you do a tier list, or would it just be like putting them in order? So it's
In
like
order.
Jurassic Park, episode 3 of season 4 of Camp Cretaceous,
Oh,
then
wow.
Lost World. Like, are you like going?
Wow,
Because
breaking it out
I
by
think
episode. Oh no.
I mean, you might as well. The stunt. That's like when like Markiplier was doing that smasher pass, and it was like every single Pokemon, and he just did it for the entire, like, they're like these like
Yeah.
feats. It's
Yeah.
like doing that where you'd rank all the episodes, or even because again at that point you're like, I think maybe you're right though, that like season may almost, because it's such a what's it called, storytelling, like it's not like the episodes necessarily all kind of like work on their own. It is
Yeah.
it is that kind of storytelling where this one season is like a movie basically.
Yeah. I think there's some obvious choices, but episode wise, I have a hard time like kind of differentiating it. Maybe it's because
Yeah.
like getting it early and kind of just binging through it multiple times over. Like I try to get through them like 2 or 3 times and write notes and do all this stuff. So it kind of all blends together. So trying to watch them individually, I'd have to redo the entire thing at this point and just kind of rank from there. Oh man, it sounds like a daunting task that I probably don't have time for.
No, yeah. I want to figure it, like maybe you watch a couple episodes a day, for like 2 months. Because I also think you'd have to watch them in a short enough time that it's still fresh, because it is
Yeah.
8 seasons of a TV show essentially, both if you watch both shows together, or 9. Wait, 5 seasons of Camp Cretaceous and 4 seasons of Chaos Theory.
It's wild that we're at this point where we have to like sit there and be like, how many was what?
Because all the shows, because it all came out in less than 4 years, right?
Less than 4 years, but like,
or sorry, Camp Cretaceous was 2019 to 2022.
Oh,
And
okay.
then yeah,
Yeah.
Fast 3 was just 2024 and 2025.
But even that we've been at this like for what 11 years now? Is that when
You've been doing
Jurassic
the
World came? Yeah, it's like the
Oh,
Jurassic
yeah.
World coming out back then. It's just like, man, I can't believe I've been doing this for 11 years,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
honestly, like, because my brain has been always focused on Jurassic. I mean, it's kind of fluctuated here and there. Obviously, during those like 14 or whatever years, it was mostly turned off, other than like kind of just looking at websites, hoping that somebody
Yeah.
mentioned a movie was coming out or something. But it really turned back on in that like 2014 era or whenever they started ramping into Jurassic World. So it's like my brain has been like on full time since then, and it's interesting. I mean, it's pretty interesting. I have found that like the past few months or so, I've been like, oh, this is the first time in a long time that I actually haven't had anything to talk about.
Oh,
You know,
interesting.
it's been kind of weird because, I mean, there hasn't been much news or anything really. There's been little things here and there, but like I've said for years, like, oh, I don't think I'll ever run out of ideas. And then the past couple, like, I released one episode every month, I think, this
Yeah.
year, earlier in the year, and then I'm like, oh man, maybe I did run out of stuff to talk about. Do you ever find that? Like, are you still good? Because you're branching
I
out so much, I feel like, but I
Yeah.
still find myself like, oh, I don't know, am I running out of topics?
It's almost like I think lately it's been interesting for me, if anything, because it like my opportunity to interview Steve, and then I'm having at the end of the month, Dean Lomax is coming on. It's almost kind
Nice.
of reminding me why I love dinosaurs, and I was like, oh, maybe I should just start doing more dinosaur stuff again and less like I don't need to maybe focus on Jurassic, but always having dinosaur stuff happening, I think has been like a really breath of fresh air. Like reading. I mean, the story of birds obviously has dinosaurs in it, but reading Dean's book too, the Secret Lives of Dinosaurs.
Oh, nice. That's
It's
awesome. Oh
it's
my god.
really great. Sorry, it's really great. Um, and then doing the Michael Crichton book club, I think, has been really fun. So
That
with
yeah,
Sam,
that is so cool. I have not read enough of Michael Crichton. Only two. I've read two of his books.
you could just
Can
come
you guess
join us
which
for
ones?
Congo, Jurassic Park and Lost World. No, Jurassic Park and Disclosure, Rising Sun.
I do have. Like, I think I mentioned it to you. I have one of them. I think upstairs.
Come
Um,
join the book club. Listen to the
yeah,
audiobooks.
I know.
Uh,
It's a lot of fun to kind of get into that kind of content. I mean, we did like Jurassic Park and the Lost World, and I didn't.
yeah,
I say we, but like, it wasn't me. It was other people kind of manning the ship there and getting through everything. Ben handled all of that stuff, and
oh
then
yeah,
had
yeah.
so many other people. But like that's just such an undertaking. So kudos to you for kind of getting into
Well,
that.
yeah, I mean, that's why. I mean, it was just, because Sam and I wanted to do more stuff together. We've just become a lot better friends over the last year, like after we hung out at Comic-Con last year. So it was
Mm,
just like, okay, like what's a little project that we could do? But yeah, so the rest of the book club will be more dinosaur focused. So, but
yeah.
the first couple was like, okay, what's fun for the summer? Like Congo, jungle, pirate latitudes, and then the next few are much more well, they're all on theme, sort of.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, yeah, it's coming up with ideas. I feel like you could tie anything to Jurassic Park. I had a epiphany because I had Stacey Keenan on, from Step by Step, and My Two
Mhm.
Dads, who I produce her podcast with Christine Lakin. Keenan and Lakin give you deja vu. But through getting to know her as a person, she was like, oh yeah, when I quit acting, because she's been a lawyer now for like almost 20 years, but when she quit acting after Step by Step ended, she was looking into becoming a helicopter pilot, and
Yeah.
because she just had a passion for helicopters. And it was like, well, the Jurassic Park franchise has like a helicopter scene, as a key helicopter scene, if not more, in every movie. So why not like let us learn about helicopters? Stacey can talk about her experience, like taking a couple of classes, and then we kind of and then I kind of, because she had seen the original Jurassic Park trilogy, but she hadn't seen any of the new ones, and so it was like, okay, look, let's walk through a couple of these scenes and just talk about it. Like, and that was really fun. Where it's like, oh yeah, that's part of Jurassic Park. Like whenever I see a helicopter, I think of Jurassic Park. And like at the end of that episode, I was like, flares are a big part of Jurassic Park. I wonder if I can get like a firefighter, or like we could learn about the history of flares. Like,
I love that. That is so good.
Yeah.
That is, I mean, you had one that took a little tangent, and I was like, oh man, I wanted to be on that episode. It was I mean, there's several that I would have liked to have been on, but you talked about Back to the Future recently, and I was like, this is amazing. Like I know you said like you didn't really, it wasn't like that thing for you, and that's my thing, man. Like it's 100%. I love Back to the Future, and it was getting me really hyped just listening to you guys talk about it.
And that's perfectly, again, that's the thing where in my head, Back to the Future, Indiana Jones, like E.T., the Spielberg Amblin thing, like is all connected, and it just feels like people who love Jurassic Park love any of that stuff. I mean, do you have plans to see Disclosure Day?
I don't have plans at the moment, but I'm hoping to maybe make some plans this weekend. I would love to.
I want to carve out time to see it this weekend, if not next week. But it is just like, it is kind of fun to see, like, this is maybe the first Spielberg movie in a while where it has the kind of hype behind it that puts it back in with like the more Amblin thing versus, some of, in maybe Ready Player One was the last one to do that as well. But there's just been a few Spielberg movies like The Post and stuff, and it's not like Jurassic Park fans are like, woohoo, The Post, like it feels like Disclosure Day really is like in the fold of this stuff that is more akin to Jurassic Park, and having Neems do the premiere posters for it, it feels more in the family in that way. It feels more special. And I guess because it is sci-fi, so.
Yeah, his video was great, by the way. I saw that. I was getting like heartwarmed. It was just incredible. Like that was
the moment I saw it, I texted him. I was just like, holy man, like that is such a special experience. Like this is why you do what you do,
Yeah.
Like for that kind of thing.
But you're right though. His movies, like I think I own most of this most recent run, digitally. But I'll be honest, I have not watched them. I own them, but I don't think I've watched them all. But like, there's obviously been great movies in that mix. But yeah, I think like Ready Player One was the last one that I was like hyped about. And this one, I honestly, Fabelmans I was really hyped about, but I didn't get a chance to go out and see it, and I still haven't seen it. So
no, I still haven't seen it either. I guess because it's like Spielberg always made all different kinds of movies, so I didn't necessarily feel like I had to see every one of his movies, although I've seen a lot of them, like especially up through high school. I mean, the sort of 3-2 punch of Catch Me If You Can, Minority Report, and AI came before those, but I mean, like that felt like Spielberg was still, and War of the Worlds, so it was like that run from AI to like War of the Worlds was like hits after they were like bangers, and they kind of, it was like, oh, I'm a Spielberg fan versus like, oh, I just like Jurassic Park, or I like Indiana Jones or whatever, or Jaws. Mm-hmm. Like that was like in a Spielberg era. It's kind of, I feel like that's how people feel about like Marty Scorsese now, where there's kind of like or Christopher Nolan, where there's like a fandom around him as a director versus like, oh, I just like these kind of movies.
Yeah, I don't know what. I just like had to start buying, like, I'm like, man, I just really gotta like start binging his movies, because I know, like you're saying, there's so many in there that I'm like, a World of Worlds and Minority Report. The Terminal is one that I watched endlessly. Like I watched that one so much. Okay. Love that movie. But like there's other ones that like I just never seen. So I want to do this like full binge and just like kind of get into that, because like these guys ain't getting any younger. And I like, this is one that I'm like, I need to go see this. Like John Williams music, right? Like I think he's in there, and Spielberg. I'm like, I gotta stop everything to see this movie, even though I'm trying to stay away from all the marketing as much as I can. I really don't want to like get into it and just kind of like spoil anything. So it's just one that I want to experience,
Yeah. Well, that's what I even said when like Neems posted his posters. I was like, I've like honestly avoided all the stuff, and like your posters, your premiere posters are really the only thing I've seen because I just don't want to be, just feels like that kind of movie you really want to just
Yeah.
experience purely. I've seen there's, tons of advertising for it around town right now, but yeah, I
I'm
feel like
sure.
there's very few things you can, like you're saying, we're so immersed in this stuff. Like, what's the last movie you saw where you like didn't know anything about it before watching it?
All right, well, maybe we can have this in common. I don't know if you actually did get to see it. I think you did. But Backrooms. I just went to go see it
Okay.
kind of blindly. Like I knew of the concept and like I knew what Backrooms were and all that stuff, but like I really didn't watch any trailers or anything. And I just kind of just was like, hey, it was last week. I was just like, hey, let me just go. I'm just gonna go. And I loved it. I thought it was great.
Oh wow, that's so cool. Yeah, so you just knew the liminal space kind of creepypasta
Well,
origin
yeah,
story.
I love that stuff. Like that stuff is super interesting to me. Like that just empty space. It honestly reminds me of like one of my old jobs where I would just spend a lot of time at like in like nighttime, like in a business that was like closed and like you've got the lighting up top and like these empty hallways and just way too long rooms with carpet and I'm like this feels something feels right about this.
It's so wrong, it's so right.
Yeah.
And that I love that. Yeah, I mean, I ended up I basically saw it in theaters when I got back from my trip, and then I saw it again last night. So I basically saw it
Oh,
2
okay,
days in
yeah.
a row.
Nice,
I
nice.
saw it I saw it twice in a row, and I'll probably see, I mean, like, that's the only thing where I'm like, "Ooh, I wanna see Disclosure Day," but I kind of just wanna see Backrooms again. But I had been obsessed with the original short, and I think that's what kind
Yeah.
of got me originally into the concept of liminal spaces. But I was gonna ask you, because being a theme park person also, like, I feel like theme parks a little bit also because you're constantly in these like manufactured spaces, like
Yeah.
where you're inside, but it's made to look like outside. There's like a fake sky, or you're like in a house and it's like meant to be, I think that
Yeah.
kind of stuff is a little, in a theme park, it's fun, but for some reason, there's also a little part of your brain that's like, when, fake water is painted on the ground, or like walls with fake wood. You know what I mean? Like you're like, oh, we are in a simulation.
Yeah, I love that stuff. I've got a buddy on social media, Rob, who like collects like empty queues. Like if you go there and you take a picture of It's a Small World and there's 0 people in line in front of you. Snap a picture, I send it to him and he's just like, "Thank you, dude." Because he collects these things and he has like a I don't know, a hard drive probably full of empty queue lines for rides. And I think that's just such a cool like little hobby is just like collecting all that stuff and that is fascinating. Like you're saying, it is kind of like it's it's weird, it's kind of creepy and if you just like imagine like you've got a camera that can just like you're in an empty queue and then it subtly goes down into the ground, through the ground, into
Mm.
the tunnels of Disney World. It's like, dude, that's again like empty tunnels. It's like Jurassic World, like or
Yeah,
Camp
yeah.
Cretaceous or something like that. It's awesome to have that kind of thing underneath your feet you don't even know is there, and people are wandering it, or maybe not. Maybe it's empty. I don't know.
Yeah, there is something alluring to that because normally it is filled with people. I mean, there's nothing more. I mean, it was perfectly appropriate leaving Backrooms, especially the first night where I saw it kind of late. So you're in my movie
Ooh.
theater is City Walk, so
Mm.
in LA, and so you're getting out at like, because the City Walk in LA, everything kind of closes around 10 except for the movie theater. So I've left movies there at like 10, 11, 1 in the morning and it's empty. And so that really is just like the perfect setting to leave the back rooms, because you're just
That's
like,
amazing.
I mean, and that's, because you're just like, I'm wandering weird architecture
Yeah.
and parking garages, and it's kind of like Vegas where it's like a mishmash of aesthetics. You're going from like Roman columns into a parking garage into the desert. Like there's it's surreal, and like I'm glad you like the movie because yeah, I forget who was talking about it. Maybe it was on Critical Darlings or Big Picture Show, but it was just Big Picture. But it was just like, is this horror concept going to translate to a mass audience? But like clearly it did, because people are
Yeah.
like yeah, there is something like how you're saying at this old job, you were like, it really tapped into something in like your lizard brain being like, there's something weird going on here.
Yeah. I was thinking about it. I'm like, this is kind of where I would love to see Jurassic go at some stage. Like I don't think they ever
Yeah.
will, but maybe this is that start of something like of like that era back when like Steven Spielberg and George Lucas, those people, they were like the newcomers coming in and making Jaws and Star Wars and all that good stuff, right? And now we've got these new people that are doing like YouTube stuff and like, that now they're creating this new environment for cinema. Maybe Universal and other studios will kind of follow suit with their projects in some way. And it would be cool to see if like, because I've been wanting that for a while. I mean, even before Rebirth, like I always talked about having like smaller focus in on dinosaurs attacking
Hmm.
like a village or whatever. But the idea of like, I know it would kind of be like like it's a lot of zombie content has like a mall or something, or Stranger Things
Yeah.
had a lot of mall sequences. But like something like that, where like a dinosaur is in back rooms, essentially, like these weird, creepy hallways and stuff's trapped in an office building with like a bunch of dinosaurs for some reason. I have no idea what the premise is, but like I think that would be so much fun to watch.
Yeah. Well, and I think that's why I personally was really excited when Camp Cretaceous went into the tunnels of New Blar, because I feel like to me, and we've talked before about sequences from the book, and to me it was always kind of evocative when Alan and Lex and Tim are going in the tunnels and they meet Ralph, or there's like a raptor in a cage and there's like a golf
Mm,
cart kind of truck thing that they drive, and like that whole part, when they're getting
yeah,
from the Gallimimus, like, or the river sequence, like that part of the book, and then they're getting back to the visitor center, like all that is kind of skipped over obviously in the movie, but
mm,
that stuff was pretty evocative. And then of course the raptor tunnels at the end, which could
yeah.
totally fit that vibe, where
That's
they're
that's what I
looking through the
want.
night vision goggles and they're like counting the eggs and everything. And I feel like, doesn't like Muldoon or Gennaro or somebody gets pushed down the tunnel, like, don't be a goddamn coward, or whatever, and like, uh, and that whole
Yeah.
thing, like,
To not have
yeah,
it be like a rushed, like, because I feel like Jurassic tends to be like, here's this really cool set piece. We're gonna burn through it in 5 minutes. And that's it. That's the cool set piece. It's 5 minutes. I would love to see them like kind of expand upon that and like, hey, here's this awesome office building. It's a great setting, whatever it may be. And yeah, we talked about Camp Cretaceous, that season where they did the Monolophisauruses into that like high rise or whatever it was,
yeah,
right? They were kind of like going through
that
the
was
vents
really
and
cool.
stuff.
Yeah, yeah,
Like
yeah,
that was cool. And it's like that's an entire episode of like that set piece. So yeah, I wish the movies would kind of do some of that as well. I think that would be really cool to kind of focus in on one set piece. Like I'm not saying make it phone booth that movie, with Colin
yeah,
Farrell. Like it doesn't have to be that small, but like,
yeah,
something like that can have multiple rooms and a resort that might be closed that has like a water park and like a whatever. I mean the American Dream Mall here in New Jersey has like it's a massive
yeah.
mall and it's
There's
got a
a
theme
ski
park.
resort, right?
There's skiing in there. There's a water park. There's everything. So you could, you could definitely find a reason for dinosaurs to be there at some point.
Well, and I think too, and I maybe forget how you feel about this, but it is funny watching Jurassic World again, and almost like maybe in some ways the way that people wanted Dominion to just kind of show like random events around the world with dinosaurs
Mm,
attacking people, rather than just kind of like, obviously the last half of the movie just takes place in one,
yeah.
biosin. But it's like, in my head, I'm like, oh, I wanted to see the dinosaurs, like, yeah, like barge into the Hilton, and
Yeah.
like, because the main place where all the tourists, Jurassic World attendees get attacked is just Main Street. There's really like, it doesn't really permeate out to the rest of the park. It is just this one sequence, where they attack uh attendees at the park, and then the rest of the movie kind of takes place in these like
Yeah.
outskirts of the park. And so there is that, like, yeah, the Camp Cretaceous of it all kind of gets to hit on that more stuff where you're like, oh yeah, like tunnels and the hotel where like the high employees, you know, the high like executives or those people. Like I want to know like where the you know, what employees like lived at the park, like where their headquarters was, and do they have like a little cafeteria
I
that
know.
only employees work at, and you know, the back areas behind where, you know, all the exhibits are. I mean, I guess we saw a little bit of the back rooms of Rexy's containment, you know, where Claire was like running to.
Oh, yeah.
Where what is it, gate 10 or whatever? I forget what the gate number is.
Paddock 9 was it?
Paddock 9,
I
yeah.
don't know.
Just be a man,
yeah.
Larry, and do something for once.
God,
Why'd you have to
why'd
make
you
it
have to
personal?
It
Was a
made
good-
me think of
that was
like Freaky Tales. I don't know. Did you ever see that movie?
No, what's that?
It's I had to look it up because I forgot what the name was. It's like Pedro Pascal and Ben Mendelsohn, and there's literally
Oh, wow.
like a ton of people in this movie because it's all like anthology stuff that all ties in some weird way about this one night. I feel like it was like 1985 or 1990 or something like that. It was like a, you know, semi-period piece in that way. And it's all these individual things that do slightly connect in some way. And it was like one was like a punk rock show that some stuff was happening. There was like a basketball story. There's some other gang guy or so, there's like all these different things. I feel like that could be interesting. Like, and it would be fun to see Jurassic take a swing like that, right? Like to see them do an anthology story of like, oh, here's somebody out in the woods, here's somebody in a mall, here's this or that, and we'd get to see what happened in those 5 years or whatever it was between Dominion and Rebirth.
Yeah, well, I mean, to your point, I mean, I think that's why Battle at Big Rock is so, I mean, kind of generally beloved, really, you know. I mean, I don't feel like I've never heard anyone say they don't like Battle at Big Rock. Everyone was kind of so jazzed by it and really just was like, more of this, please.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, still feels to me like it was like a backdoor pilot for something that never actually happened. Like that just,
Oh, interesting.
I don't know why. It just definitely feels like that to me. But
like,
maybe
could
not,
that have been
maybe.
the TV show? You know,
I think it could have been. I really do. I think I forget what the timeline was between that and, the motion comics. Do you remember those?
Oh, sure. Yeah. And like the weird podcast over the like Amazon Echo. Do you remember that? Like the Choose Your Own Adventure podcast where the journalist lands on...
I interviewed the guy who like ran that, and
awesome.
He was awesome. And yeah, I kind of wait, was it? Yeah, it was that one. I loved that. I thought it was cool and interesting, but like certainly lost to time, you know, like it's just gone, I guess.
Well, and we never got a third Macy Lockwood adventure either.
Yeah.
Because I believe there was supposed to be at least one more.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it just disappeared.
And Tess Sharp was supposed to do 3 and she only ended up doing 2. So, you know, it's probably written too. Like I would guarantee you that the thing was written and it just has never come out. You know, it's just like we live in an age now where things get made like to a certain extent and then just are like, it's cheaper just to not do it. And you're like, man, but why not just let people have it if it's finished, you know?
Where's
I
that
feel
girl,
like if it's
please?
finished. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, totally. No, but like, do you, on a different note, as far as stuff to think about, have you, because like when the Jurassic Park game collection came out, you know, the Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis, Game Boy, all that stuff, have you ever thought about just like going through all that stuff and being like, okay, I'm gonna play through this game and then just do like an episode about it? Because I'm so bad at video games for the most part, and it's like I was like trying to replay the original Sega Jurassic Park, which the one I played the most as a kid, and I'm like I'm actually worse at it now as an adult.
Yeah, I actually tried to plug in my real Sega the other day.
Oh, cool.
And something was wrong with the controller input. I tried to buy a new controller, like a brand new one, and it didn't work. So I think something was like not connected correctly, like in the system itself, because I got Grant there. I'm like watching this intro sequence. It's incredible. And then he's just not moving. I'm like, no, come on. But yeah, that collection, I've considered it because, you know, we've done like plenty of like game content before, but I think that one just kind of came and went so fast. Um,
Yeah.
and then I don't even know what the status is of that right now, because I know like they talked about like delisting it or something. It was going
Oh,
away,
really? Okay.
and so
Oh,
I don't even
wow.
know. I'm not sure if that's even available anymore. But yeah, I know everybody wanted to see more, like more other games, get added to it. But I don't
Yeah,
know.
the Lost World Sega game that like is one of those things you never knew existed, and then you're watching a playthrough on YouTube, in like the early 2010s, and you're like, "How did I not know about this?" And you're like, "Oh yeah, because it was released on Sega, the Sega Genesis, like 2 years after the PlayStation came out." Like it was just such a weird,
Yeah.
like that would never again, that would just be totally shelved. But it was like, nope, we were started working on it, so we got to finish it. You
Which one
know,
is that, the one that has Jeff Goldblum at the end being like, "Hey, what are you doing? Are you gonna
no,
like?" Which one was that? I don't remember.
that was the original Lost World PlayStation game, which I
Oh,
never
okay.
had, but my best friend growing up, he had it. So what we'd go over and take turns because it was one player. But um no, this was a isometric where you're driving around in like the Mercedes
Oh my
car,
god.
the Lost World
Yeah.
car, and then you're sort of getting out and you're like a hunter and you're like and it could be co-op as well too. So, and then they also have these like bizarre, surreal, like, um, what do you call it? Like first person perspective where you're like
Huh.
driving away from this dinosaur or this like velociraptor, but its head is like, it's like really early 3D and it looks really very 90s. But it is like this raptor head is like going at the screen and you're like, like the
I don't know what
arcade game
happened to me,
almost.
because like I played that first Sega one, and then I never played any other Jurassic video games. I
Well, I mean,
missed like so many, like
I never had SNES or PlayStation, so that's why I never
same.
like
I guess that's
I
why.
never
Yeah.
played Operation Genesis. Did you play Operation
No.
Genesis?
No.
Yeah, that was something I missed. So it was really that first Sega, because I don't know if you tried the second, the Rage edition or Rampage edition
Rampage,
of.
yeah. I have it, but I couldn't get it to play the other day. I was trying
Oh,
to.
you have to, because Grant comes back with a vengeance. It is literally just like, because that's been the weird part about Jurassic Park gaming is like, well, we like dinosaurs, so let's tranquilize them. The Lost World arcade
Yeah.
game is, I think, tranquilizers. I believe the original one is 2. And then it's like, even that newer one that came out like 10 years ago. But in this Rampage edition of like, it's Grant with flamethrowers and machine guns. And he's literally like, you literally like set InGen workers on fire. And it's
Oh
like,
my god.
Grant has like lost it. And he is just like, I will destroy all of Isla Nublar myself. And you're just like,
That's incredible.
you're like, okay, this doesn't really feel like Jurassic, but it's kind of hilarious that you get to play as Grant and he's like literally taking out InGen workers as well as dinosaurs.
It's the Hasbro Grant that escaped the packaging with his nuke or
Yes.
whatever, and he's just like
The nuke. I still had that for such a long time. I lost all the other parts of his net and everything.
Yeah, that was one of those pieces that I certainly had in like a massive toy bin for a while, and I was like, "What is this?" I probably chucked it at one point, but, like, because like
Oh,
the toys always they still do. They come with these little tiny things that you're like, I don't even remember what this is from anymore.
yeah.
Now I've got like
Yeah.
separators and all kinds of stuff to make sure I know what they're all for. But yeah, I missed that stuff, and I pulled out like a massive collection of things because like I wanted to talk about this real quick with you because I miss this kind of thing that like old merchandise, since we're on that 33rd, we didn't really bring it up, but like the 33rd anniversary is today,
Oh, yeah,
when it was
yeah.
released, like, officially for everybody. Um it made
Wow.
me think, and I wanted to dig out this stuff. Um and I was looking at it, I'm like, oh, so this is what's different. Nowadays, and I looked straight at my shelf over there. It's like Jurassic Park logo, Jurassic Park logo, Jurassic Park logo, Jurassic Park logo. That's what it is like today, right? Like it's like this is how we're gonna sell you on old merchandise. It's gonna be the logo. It's the red background, the white
Mhm.
yellow outline. That's how you're gonna be really into it. But like back in the day, it was more so about getting like full shots from the
Oh
movie.
yeah.
I miss this. I feel like we got to get back to that kind of stuff because that to me is what made Jurassic really special back in the day.
Yeah.
So I'm holding up here this notebook. I don't even know what's in this. This is my notebook, I think, from when I was a kid.
I love that.
I don't know, here's just like a picture of some kids, and then I don't even know. Here's like a story I wrote. I don't even know.
Whoa!
It says,
love that.
"Oh, the stupidest people in the world." I don't know what I was writing about. Don't get
You were a
mad at me.
smart
I have
kid.
no idea. I wrote that apparently a lot. The stupidest people in the world, and it says "Bye, Brad Jost" right there. And here's a werewolf on a table. I'm not really sure what's happening here, but like this was what you were being sold on, right? This incredible image of a T-Rex looking down at Lex and Grant, and it's like it looks different than the movie. That's the thing that was so great about all the shots, like this card here. This card here of this T-Rex against the fence. Like what
JP Tops.
What even is this? Like just a great picture. And I brought out the well, I actually put way too many things in here. But
Love a show and tell.
the lunchbox. I had to bring this stuff to you because I know you'd appreciate it. But like the lunchbox.
I have
like,
that. I have that.
It's like, but look at this image. It's so cool with the Explorer and the Rex. Yes, the logo's on there, but like that's the kind of stuff I wish, like, man, it would be cool if we got more of that to sell a movie with merchandise and stuff. But it almost feels like that stuff's kind of getting lost, and maybe that style's getting lost. It's more so like, here's the logo. But yeah, and they also aren't giving us Pogs anymore. Like, what's going on with that? I don't I don't know about you, but I just on Star Wars Day, I purchased 239 Star Wars Pogs from the Phantom Menace.
Hell yeah.
I don't know why. It's not even a complete set. It's just 230 with a lot of the same ones over and over again.
You just kind of want something to rifle through.
Here's a full stack of Padmes.
Hell yeah.
Like,
you got to have you bring those to Vegas. Those are worth a lot. Well, I mean, my prized possession is my unopened box of JP Tops, of the Pogs, I should say.
Yeah.
Because I have an unopened box.
That's amazing.
Fully sealed. And it's just something I will never open. And because I think I'm like one of 5 people who didn't open, because you didn't save that stuff, like even more specifically, the JP Tops, the trading card you have, like especially that series 1 is so abundant. And like, 10, 15 years ago, they were selling those unopened boxes for $5, $10. Now it's obviously a lot more expensive. But, the reason why the art style of promotional material has changed is because there's so much post-production now and designs change last minute. So they can't 6 months ahead of time give you a Mutadon or whatever, because we just saw that. The Mutadon didn't even get a toy until recently because the design wasn't finished until the film was finished. And so I think that's why, and I think you also have an appreciation for the making of Jurassic Book and the Lost World 1, Jodie Duncan, who wrote those, the idea that people were brought to set and set photographers took those stills that were used for not only, there we go,
we got them sitting in the drawer right.
Shout out. Those are and obviously like James Mottram has said, he's so indebted to those. He did the newer behind the scenes Jurassic Park books because Jodie had done the original. There we go. We got the James Mottram books as well.
Why do I have all this stuff right here? Oh no.
I have oh no.
Piles of things falling over in my office because I've got way too much stuff.
No, same. But there was pre-social media, there was more of that, you kind of had to okay, we're going to sense, obviously there's a lot of stuff like that happening now. I have a friend who did a lot of the behind the scenes stuff. There's promotional material. Here's a day with Ryan Gosling for Project Hail Mary, who's going to shoot something at the Natural History Museum or whatever. But it is, but for us, there are shots that are part of Jurassic that are not part of the movie, like you said, that are just as iconic. When we have Steven Spielberg with the Triceratops, when we have everybody with the giant T-Rex leg, whether it's, I think Stan Winston, their Stan Winston school account just posted one with Stan Winston Spielberg and some of the cast that like I'd never seen before. Like I've seen, you know,
Yeah.
Laura Dern and Sam Neill and Jeff Goldblum with one. I've seen Laura Dern with one. I've seen the kids with one. I've seen Spielberg, but I was like, oh, I didn't like, you know, for one photo Stan Winston hopped into, and that was really cool. But yeah, they had an on-set photographer. They had an on-set behind the scenes person, which like obviously they still do now, but yeah, so much of it's digital, and yeah, they're not going to commit. Yeah, because it's like, yeah, like just pick like, oh yeah, look at that, it's so
Hey,
good.
there's your name too. Yeah.
Oh yeah, what did
It's
Home is where the heart is.
yeah. I see these are the images like that are just so cool to see. And I mean, this is not really possible, I guess, because there are no dinosaurs for the most part even there anymore. but
Yeah.
but like even like just like this leg like shot. I don't even think this shot's like in the movie really. Is it?
No, no.
It like that is just so cool. Like, and those are the images that like helped to sell this franchise, I think, for me. The movie obviously was great, but like the stuff, the stuff
No,
is like
we're playing with
I
the
was
stuff
at, you
when
know?
we're kids. Like it made it live longer. I mean, I think, you know, there is the problem sometimes with binging stuff. I mean, because it's just kind of the conversation is over and done with right away. The conversation for stuff just never lasts. You know, it's funny that we
Yeah.
say that we talk about Jurassic Park so much, but it's just like, yeah, but when you were growing up, like you would talk about stuff for months or years. Star Wars was talked about enough between 1977 and, you know, 1990, like when they came out on VHS, maybe in like the mid 90s. Like it was such a great Star Wars mug, but it was just one
Yep.
of those things where like obviously it was still part of the culture enough that like really kept it alive so that it could come back. Like it wasn't like nobody talked about Star Wars ever again after 1983. It's like, no, like, yeah, the Timothy Zahn's like expanded universe started happening, Power of the Force line with the toys, Star Tours comes to Disneyland. Like, you know, it wasn't like there was nothing going on, but I think because everything is kind of available, there's no space for people to, well, I don't know. I mean, I think there are some kids who like get toys before they see the movie. So in a way, maybe they're getting to kind of experience a similar thing, if that makes
I
sense.
hope
Like,
so.
oh, like you're only showing your kids like this scene, or like, oh, you get to play with Rexy, but like you don't know what Rexy's from, you know, like you just get a toy dinosaur.
Yeah. I really hope kids are experiencing it the same way. I mean, we'll, you know, maybe Toy Story 5 is going to have that resurgence of kids maybe putting the tablet down. I don't know how that movie ends, but
Oh,
like but you know, like we're in this tablet age of like nobody wants to actually play with toys, and maybe Toy Story 5 will be that thing that like makes it come full circle, you know? That'd be cool.
do you think that they're gonna have a toy of that iPad the lily pad thing?
Oh man, that's so dangerous. I don't know. Yeah, I wonder. That's that would be smart, I guess, right? Like they probably would sell a bunch. You
Yeah.
know, like
Well,
or partner with like Amazon or something to create like the container or something that you put it in, right? Like you put your
yeah, yeah.
fire whatever into that. I don't know,
Oh, that's a fun
but
idea, actually. Like using it as like a case versus like making
yeah,
an actual device.
yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, also too, it is funny to think about again the Jurassic Park toys that we had growing up versus, especially by the time Dominion came out, like you really could recreate the Brachiosaurus scene from Jurassic Park because they had the size accurate Brachiosaurus. You had the Jeep, you had Hammond, Dr. Sattler, Ellie, and Hammond. And then even with the Dominion era toys, like I had a Sayona Santos and a Claire, a Dominion Claire, and I had enough tasers from other things. So I literally could, and I had the, oh my God, what are the names of the raptors? Atrociraptors. And so I literally could recreate some scenes from Dominion as like little diorama stuff. And it was just like, that is, that's something that you didn't know you could, like, they didn't do that level of detail as a kid, but then you're like, oh, wouldn't it have been cool to have that as a kid? We were like, oh, I could literally
Yeah,
create this like fight between these two characters, have the Atrociraptors there. I have their like cage things. I have the accurate weapons that the characters had. Like, it's pretty
yeah.
sweet.
they're able to definitely like create more of what they saw for sure. Like back in the day, I didn't have like a I don't know, like what would we have created? I mean, I would have laid the Triceratops down on its side and put like
Yes.
Alan and like Ellie or somebody like right there, right? Like that would have been created. Didn't have like a toy toilet, to like set somebody down. I don't even know. I just would have like put him down on the ground and just like had somebody, and I didn't have a Gennaro.
No.
I didn't have one, so that he would just eat some random guy, and so it was very much like using your imagination, I guess, a little bit more. Plus, with the fact that like some of those characters were like, here's wingsuit to Ian Malcolm.
Yeah.
Like I love
Hell
that
yeah.
we're getting that stuff kind of like from Mattel now, so maybe kids have that opportunity again, and I'm excited by that for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I would hope they wouldn't be like, "What's this? Why isn't this movie accurate?" Like,
My kids are really literal, like, I feel like at times, so I hope I don't know, they've got imagination, but, like, sometimes they're just like, he wouldn't wear that. What are you talking about?" But then again, I kinda said stuff I mean, I feel like every time I would have brought out, "Here's Nick Van Owen. He doesn't look like this, but, like, that's him."
with the baseball cap, that version
Yeah.
from The Lost World.
He's got
They haven't made
a water pack or something on his back. I don't know what it was, right? Something like that?
they they haven't made a Mattel Nick Van Owen, have they? I don't think they have, right? Because they've done almost
Mm,
everybody else at this point. We have
I
Roland
think I
Tembo,
think
we have Dieter Stark, we have Sarah Harding,
I think there is one coming, if I
Vince
remember
Vaughn.
correctly.
Oh, really? Okay. Because I was like, is Vince Vaughn like really holding out the rights, for his likeness?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, because you would hope that it would actually be more accurate. But if it is like a reimagined, maybe it wouldn't be super accurate, I guess. Because I don't think like
Yeah.
Nedry or well, Ray
Well,
Arnold's
yeah,
is
the re
as accurate as his is. I think Nedry's is probably like the face is accurate to what it was, probably.
yeah. Yeah. I mean, again, it's also too. I just think a lot about Jurassic World promotional material, and there's this kind of no people sort of just renders. We all are very familiar with the Jurassic World renders of all the dinosaurs because they were just really
Hmm.
like plastered on everything. And and I wonder if that's also just cheaper. It's like, okay, we just have all of these renders, like, again, why not use them, of course, but yeah, we're not having images from the film. It's like blue, with
Hmm.
like colors and jungle behind. But and again, to counter my own point, but one of my favorite things about the Lost World trading cards was they had all those weird
Yeah.
surreal 90s pop art, like my favorite one is the Stegosaurus, the Stan Winston baby Stegosaurus, and it's got this very like surreal magic eye art stuff, and then it just says "The world is mine." Like we would never get that now,
No.
but it's also not. It's not. There's nothing about the. What do you mean? Or like
Yeah.
the Stan Winston Raptor with, again, surreal 90s like colors and stuff, and it says "Human Crouton." Like, you know, I really want to like talk to. I think at some point when I worked at Loot Crate, I met the guy who actually worked at Topps at the time that Jurassic Park, like those cards were coming out, but
Hmm.
I don't think he worked there when the Lost
Was it
World
Gary?
Topps card. I can't remember, but it was just this thing of that is such a. I mean, maybe, but yeah, the Lost World cards, they're like bonus ones. The last like 15 were all these very like surreal
Yeah.
things, and even the JP3 one had a really great Spinosaurus one that was like purple, and it said "Spine Tingler," and I was just like, "This is fun." This is it's bizarre, but it's kind of, I don't know. I guess they do stuff like that now with like different alternative color schemes for like Funko
Yeah.
Pops and stuff. So
Here's the human crouton. Let me. Oh, I lost the screen here. Let me see if I can bring it up here. Human
it's my
crouton,
favorite. Yeah.
dude. Like
Hey,
that is so
I think
cool.
that might be a picture from my. I
Is
think
that
that's a
you?
picture. That is my picture. Yeah, I was
Oh,
like,
it's
wait a
the
minute, I
X
recognize
from
that.
Twitter.
Yeah, I recognize the thing that it's in.
Is
Human
this like your
crouton.
hand and like?
I don't know if
That's
that's my
funny.
hand. Maybe it's my hand, but
This one like looks
yeah,
wild, man. Like that is
Dino
crazy.
Damage.
so
Like,
incredible. Like,
and you're right though,
whoop.
Mattel might, because they've been doing those like retro kind of fun toy remixes. Like, yeah, somebody should do remixes of this stuff. Like that would be really fun.
Yeah. Yeah, I kind of would just love to get like Universal to look through like a different lens. I mean, not that they've done anything wrong because I think everything they've
We
made
just
is
want
pretty
more.
great. I just yeah, that's my problem is I want more. I literally grabbed like these coasters because like I'll go to Disney World and like I'll take the coasters because they're so cool. Like the Lindsay Indiana Jones place has like had these. I don't know if they still do.
Oh,
Just like
that's cool.
in like the South Seas Club. That's from the Rocketeer. Like that's the club
That's
that like he
cool.
goes to, and that here's like the Python bar. I mean the Oga's Cantina has like cool ones like
Yeah, yeah.
this. But yeah, I want like I don't know if Jurassic does this at Universal. I don't usually see anything like that in Florida, but California, I feel like there's opportunity to do stuff like that. Atomic Cafe.
No, I would love that. I mean,
I
the
want
new
to pick
bar
up
is.
like more things.
I mean, the new bar is not a sit down place, so
Yeah,
you
yeah.
kind of have to. But I mean, I have some of the tiki mugs and stuff. But
Mm,
no, I was gonna say the last thing on the cards too is that I mean, it's the only evidence we have of the continuation of the lilac. Excuse me.
mm.
Of the sick triceratops scene. If you search Ellie and Alan high fiving, this
Yeah.
image only exists on a Australian Jurassic Park trading card, and it's one of those things where I like, back kind of pre-COVID when you're eBaying around and like looking for Jurassic Park stuff, I was like, oh, these Australian cards. And I finally tracked down some, again, like 6 years ago, and I was
This
like
one?
going through them. Yes, this is, and it's like, wait, I've never seen that because famously there really isn't any deleted scenes from Jurassic Park that exist in any like tangible form other than, the Ellie grabbing the leaf, from the trailer and
Yeah.
like Adventure Collectibles like rescan the 35 millimeter. But yeah, this trading card from Australia is just like, I don't know. It's just so evocative to me. I was like, what do you mean they're high fiving? Like, what's happening? Like, this is a crazy
Well,
image.
it feels like somebody just actually went around the set with a regular old camera, probably just like probably took random photos and just was like, yeah, let's use these for trading cards and stuff. So that's
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. I mean, that's the problem with like something like Rebirth, for instance. It's like that movie looks beautiful and the sets were beautiful, but then they,
Yeah.
like you said, they didn't finish it. So it's like, oh, now we're gonna make it look, even if it is beautiful already, it's gonna look even more beautiful. It's gonna look 10 times as beautiful, and now we're gonna add the
Yeah.
dinosaurs in. So it's like, yeah, you can't actually get that stuff. I mean, maybe a close up shot like Allie and Ellen, like Allie and Ellen. Wow, Alan and Ellie.
Yeah.
I really had to think about that one for a second. Like them high fiving, like that's an easy one. You could get any characters high fiving, I guess. Um, but yeah,
I mean, that
that's
would be a fun project. What would be to go through maybe like the newer movies, and because they have made trading cards but they're like, German or Italian, like Panini trading cards. I have some
yeah,
from Jurassic World. But like to go through and do more of like that traditional, like do a homage to the original Jurassic Park top set, and maybe even just like look at behind the scenes stuff or promotional stills and like do your own version of it, because even like the original Jurassic Park top set had concept art, had all that Crash McCreary concept art, like the sleeping
yeah,
T-Rex that we end up seeing in Rebirth, like when they were going to do
yeah,
the river sequence.
yeah.
Like, what would you want to see? Is that like, do you have like a dream marketing rollout for a Jurassic sequel? Because I don't know, I almost assumed we were going to get an announcement at some point this year, and I feel like it just hasn't happened yet. Like, it's nothing happened at CinemaCon. Like,
Yeah.
obviously we've heard some rumblings, but like, oh yeah, because I think we all think about the original Jurassic Park teaser, in a lab, and it's just like zooming in, like I think that would be so fun to do like a throwback kind of
Well, I
trailer
feel
like
like I
that.
saw something recently. I don't remember what the trailer was, but it had a voiceover, and I was like, "Whoa, this feels weird." Where
in a
this is happening
world, you
again.
know?
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
just so cool. It was so cool to have the voiceover. I thought it was great. I don't remember what the movie was, so I guess it didn't work. Sorry, but but I did think of something that was cool, and I know I don't know what I would really want. They kind of just like at this point they're just like here's a tweet that says yeah, here's a title or a movie poster or something. Here's a date. I would like a little bit of fanfare, I guess. I feel like, I've kind of looked towards like James Gunn recently for how he's done like the Superman stuff and the rollouts for like
Mhm.
all that Warner Brothers stuff. I feel like he's done a great job of like really getting you hyped for like the whole week and then dropping something at the end of the week or whenever it is. So I think he's done a good job of like kind of letting things roll out slowly with like a teaser, like a quick, really small snippet of something, and then like you have to wait a few days, and then boom, it's like it hits you really well. So I think he's been a good model for that. But yeah, I definitely felt like something would have happened by now. It felt oddly quiet, and then out of nowhere, things would like ramp up for a little bit, and then you're like, "Oop, it's gonna happen," and then it went really quiet again, and then oh, it's gonna ramp up again, and now it's Jurassic June, and I'm like, well, they don't necessarily pinpoint Jurassic June as like, hey, we're gonna announce a bunch of stuff, but
No.
but yeah, I don't know, man. I feel like it, I don't know. I have no like eye on like when they'll actually do it anymore.
Yeah. I feel like, yeah, like we've both learned our lesson there of terms of like just I mean, again, it's a much more unpredictable world now with that kind of stuff because movies will either have a trailer like a year and a half or they won't have a trailer until a month before. And it's just the kind of rules that we grew up with of how movies should be rolled out and marketed have changed not only since we were a kid, but then it was like thinking about even the original Jurassic World trilogy, where it was like, okay, trailer in the fall, and then Super Bowl, and then, and
Hmm.
even that kind of got switched up for Dominion because of COVID, and then Rebirth totally threw all that out the window. So it's just like,
Yeah.
there's no, I mean, things that I liked in terms of marketing, as far as any of the rollouts for the last few movies, it was really special to be there when Laura Dern came out for the Battle at Big Rock screening and to say
Hmm.
that she was going to be part of Jurassic World Dominion and that, Goldblum and Sam Neill were going to come back. But it was almost like kind of a small thing. Like it was almost like, wouldn't it have been fun for like them to go around the country doing Battle at Big Rock screenings and like Laura Dern pops out at every one of them, like that kind of thing or something on that kind of scale, I think would have
Yeah.
been really cool because it felt like cool. We were there celebrating for this specific thing, but it was like Battle at Big Rock. It should have been it should have been like, the way they play Pixar shorts in front of stuff. Like, I think it would have been really fun for Battle at Big Rock to have been like kind of rolling out across the country as like part of, I don't know, seeing it in front of other like Universal films or something,
Wasn't
to
it
build
supposed
hype.
to be? I mean, so when I was at New York Toy Fair that one year, the guy was like, "Hey, and you guys can catch this toy, the Nasutoceratops, in the short Battle at Big Rock in front of Hobbs and Shaw," and that
Oh, you're
never
right. Oh my
happened.
God, I
That
forgot.
never
Oh my God,
happened. Like, right?
yes, you're so right. Yeah, because they ended up premiering on TV
Yeah, which
on
was cool. I
FX.
thought that was fun. That was a big night. That was like such a
Yeah,
fun time. But like,
yeah.
imagine if it had been in front of Hobbs and Shaw, would it have been bigger or different? I don't know. I'm not sure, but it's so weird that it kind of there was certainly somebody had said to somebody at Mattel, "This is going to be in front of Hobbs and Shaw, so you should probably tell people." And then it just stopped happening, and it was weird because that
Yeah.
toy came out and then nothing happened. Nobody knew
Oh,
about
you're right.
anything called Beyond Battle at Big Rock for I don't know months. It was It was like from April to September or something like that.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I think it is just all the kind of things are done so much more last minute now in a way. Like I still think a lot about in a weird way and it because it's like kind of the same but you can't really compare it. It is kind of wild that Jurassic Park was filming in September of 92 and the fact that it came out in June of 1993. Like,
Hmm.
in a weird way, we're like, oh, Rebirth was kind of done at last minute, but it's like, it's a little bit different because they had been working on stuff for years, for like 2 years before they even started filming. So then, and then, they were cutting the film while it was being shot, so that by the time Spielberg leaves to film Schindler's List, like the movie is not basically done, but it's like, there's no more decision making in a way because the shots have already been pre-planned.
Yeah.
Lucas came in and did the sound at Skywalker. He kind of directed the sound, process,
Yeah.
the sound editing process with Gary Rydstrom, obviously helming all the sound. But like, it is funny to think that like, oh, yeah, to me in my head, like growing up, I was like, oh, Jurassic Park must have filmed like a year before the movie came out. I was like, no, it was like less than a year, but obviously very different than when Rebirth is filmed. We get Rebirth announced like the last week of January 2024, and it's in theaters by July of 2025.
Yeah. Yeah. That was a weird whirlwind of a time. So
Yeah.
I've kind of been expecting that again. This kind of like, oh, here you go, surprise, way sooner than you thought. So I feel like they've kind of trained me maybe after one film to think, you're gonna get something soon, real quick, because we just made $800 and something million. We're gonna do it again. But I think my dream would be like, which would never happen, but Steven's out there doing the stuff. I just want him I know he gave up Indiana Jones. I wonder if that weighs in on anything. Like he gave up Indiana Jones. It didn't really succeed in the way that they wanted to. Dial of Destiny. I think the movie was great. I loved it. But like it didn't do what they wanted it to do. And everybody's going to have that, oh, well, Steven gave it up. What could have been? What if he like just, let's go for one more. Let's do another Jurassic. John Williams, hey, what this maybe your last film. Let's go for it. And David Koepp's back again. Like, well, let's go for one last hurrah here. Get another Jurassic movie in before we're out. That'd be so cool.
I think, if anything, that's more possible now more than ever, because obviously franchises go a lot longer now, and there is less like, when we were kids, or even before when we were kids, like sequels were kind of schlocky. But now it's like there are sequels that are better than the original, or there's like, even, I mean, again, some of the best Marvel movies are later in the run of Marvel movies. So there isn't necessarily like, oh, you hand this off, like people can come back. Ridley Scott came and did Prometheus and Covenant. Like, there is a sense of, because these things last a lot longer, you could see a world where maybe Spielberg is like, I don't know. Yeah, like you said, like you just like, is there a world where he would feel compelled enough? I mean, obviously David Koepp came back to write a Jurassic movie. So I think kind of you can't really hold anything off. Like nothing is ever truly dead anymore,
Yeah. I mean, the Russo brothers are now, coming back. They said that they were done, right? But now they're coming back for more Avengers and doing 2, I guess. And not that, there's Spielberg or anything and John Williams, but like, I don't know. I feel like Jurassic's gotten lucky. They've still made money. A lot of franchises are not making money. So that they could just keep doing what they're doing and probably still make money. Or, it might go down to $700 million. It might go down to $600 million. Is that going to be good enough? I don't know. They, might need to reel in the budget a little bit or something. But yeah, you could bring out like Steven Spielberg and just be like, hey, you're not going to want to miss this one. And I was thinking this was Star Wars. Like Star Wars is kind of like, they didn't do what they wanted to do with Mandalorian and Grogu. I thought the movie was fun and really great. But like, I could see them being like, all right, guys, you want to come back to theaters? I know we got this Ryan Gosling movie, but like, here's a Darth Vader movie. You're going to come back, right? Like, you're definitely going to be in the theater, aren't you? And I feel like people would, right? Like, so they might need to bring back their heavy hitters to kind of prove the market again, I guess. Because, after COVID, like you were kind of mentioning, like, things are weird. And like, nobody knows how to market a movie, it feels like, anymore. Because now they're like, oh, we're going to wait 1 month. The movie's in 1 month. Here's the trailer.
Yeah.
It's weird. It feels, I know that's exaggerating, but like it feels like that, right? From the fan perspective in a lot of ways.
No, and to your point, it's kind of like there's like kind of two roads, and I like again, I'm curious. I feel like we haven't talked about Rebirth or like a Rebirth sequel in a bit, but like it's almost like we're seeing like Mandalorian and Grogu and He-Man and like these kind of more almost traditional blockbusters from pre-COVID kind of not doing as well as something like Backrooms or Obsession, where it's like these more
Yeah.
down to earth movies. And it is like, what do you think what do you think the instinct is for a Rebirth 2? Is it to go bigger again, like a Fallen Kingdom or Dominion, or do you think they're going to go even smaller? Like, because I could see it
Hmm.
going both ways, where it's like, well, maybe this is a chance for Gareth to like really kind of spread his wings and kind of do his big scale thing, or are they like how like kind of how the conversation started, where it's like, no, wait, these like big CGI blockbusters are starting to, we're starting to see the end of that wave. So do we get smart and do we make a more down to earth, an even more down to earth Jurassic Park movie? Because obviously that's Rebirth's reaction to Dominion.
Yeah.
And so it's like, what if we get an even smaller movie, which would be interesting? I mean, I'm excited either way, but
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I hope so. I mean, that's not the trajectory of Fast and Furious, right? It'll be interesting to see what they are going to do because you have Vin Diesel out there now comparing it to Lord of the Rings, which is quite funny. But like, I love Fast and Furious, but like,
no, sure,
it's
yeah.
not the Lord of the Rings. It's not Tolkien, it's not that. But like, I don't foresee them going smaller, even though that's what they probably should be doing for Fast and Furious. For Jurassic, I don't know. I wonder what the lesson is that they learned with Rebirth. What did they learn that people like? Was it the characters? Did they like the characters or did they like, did they not? It sounds like a lot of people probably didn't like the hybrid stuff still. So are they going to learn like maybe we shouldn't go that direction? Should we go more natural? I don't know what the lesson was that they, gathered from this movie. Do you think you would have any idea what they learned from it?
That's a good question. That is actually kind of the most essential question, I feel like, with what they're going to do next, because I think, because to me, Rebirth was, in a way, like, what did people like about the original Jurassic Park in some ways, where it's like, because I think we're, in our community, it is funny to talk to people who are like, Jurassic Park is a horror movie. And it's like, I can get on board with that on some level, but like,
Yeah.
our favorite scene is the Brachiosaurus like on Wonder, and that's not a horror movie. You know what I mean?
No.
And so, and I think Rebirth embraced more of the pop culture feeling of Jurassic Park as a horror movie. And so I wonder if they're going to just go further down that route of like, we need to make the dinosaurs as scary as possible. And obviously
Hmm.
Rebirth had the awe and wonder with the Titanosaur scene, but I feel like the scary roller coaster ride stuff was the most successful part of that movie for me. So I wonder if it is going back to like more of that 90s, like we're going to kill off characters, even if they're like, even if it's Eddie Carr, like who doesn't deserve it, like more of the 90s version of a movie where, it's not about the characters necessarily. It's about the roller coaster ride of it all, in that
Yeah.
way.
I could definitely because like I feel like Gareth is really good at the characters. Like he's pretty good. Maybe people would beg to differ with like Godzilla. I know people don't like the characters in that movie. I do, but like
I know, I love
I
it.
I, I love those characters. Like I am into that whole family dynamic and all the drama there. I think it's pretty cool. But yeah, I feel like he's good at writing like characters and stories and stuff like that. But also the scope and the scale of everything. So I don't know. I feel like he'll probably just I don't know. I have no clue where he'll want to go. I just hope we get a Gareth like with time to do
Yeah.
and input. Gareth with input to the movie because I'm sure he did. He definitely did have input, but like I want more input from him, like with plenty of lead time that he can help figure out what needs to happen to make this film really his.
Yeah.
Because I don't know. I don't necessarily. I don't know. I'm not really sure what his stamp is, but I
Yeah.
don't know if this movie has it or not. Rebirth. I don't know.
It's certainly not as melancholy as any of his other films, which I feel like is a big part of his aesthetic. Is that kind of that sense of scale almost creates like a melancholy or a certain wonder or even a little fear because you are seeing how small you are in relation to other things. Like I think because you came on See Jurassic Right and we watched Godzilla, and it was my first time seeing that Godzilla film, and I think I was just kind of blown away by the scale of the shots or
Yeah. Oh my
you're
gosh.
seeing this big action scene, but you're like in this airport far away. Like you really felt like you were in the place. And to me, there's nothing scarier and more like awe and, that contrast, when you see the space that these monsters are in. Like if you just have a shot of the monster, it doesn't give you that sense of scale. And it was like Gareth is so good in Godzilla, in even Monsters, his original film, and even the creator with like the world. And I felt like that sense of scale wasn't necessarily there in Rebirth in the same way, but
No,
it is in,
yeah.
but but I think it's to me it's his weakest movie in a way. For like him as a director, I think it's still my least
Yeah.
favorite movie of his.
I was gonna ask you like, how are you feeling
Oh,
these
Rogue
days? Because
One. No.
I don't remember when we last talked. To be honest, I don't remember when that
Yeah.
was. But I feel like we did talk about Rebirth and everything. But how are you feeling now about it? You're still not fully sold, or?
That's a good question. Because I watched it, the last time I watched it was maybe in October. And I've watched it maybe probably like 10 times now. I think I think the set pieces are just so much fun. I think the family plot to me is the best part of the movie because they felt like real people. Like I like the trio, Mahershala Ali and Scarlett Johansson and Jonathan Bailey. But in a way, I would want them to do another movie because I just want to see them do more together because I felt like it was, their story was much more functional, whereas the family got to be kind of, real people in this world. And then, I think both of us there's got to be more than the trailer, right? And now I'm like, I'm just never going to think that ever again, like we were trained. I guess it's maybe been the longest I haven't watched it because I probably I watched it 6 times in theaters and then watched it a bunch as it was coming out. Watched it with the commentaries. I watched both commentaries, which are both really good. If anybody listening hasn't checked them out yet, it's just we don't get those kind of things anymore, and I'm glad Universal still does that because if you watch Wicked, you get a commentary with just Cynthia Erivo and Ariana Grande, so it feels like you're watching the movie with them. It's so cool. Like I'm glad people are still doing commentaries. Bless Universal for still doing that. But I don't know. It's funny because I think it's still middle of the pack Jurassic for me, but it is something where like I think like I'll watch the river raft sequence or like I'll just like pop on certain sections of the film. Again, I guess the one thing that I would hope that they learned from Rebirth is that maybe the fan community would love more of the lore creeping back in, that like you can trust the audience to reference Jurassic World. Like you don't need to reference Jurassic Park and make it more confusing for people who know. Like that to me was kind of a weird thing where I feel like that doesn't happen. It's not like there were the Star Wars sequels. Like the Star Wars sequels, if anything, like were more embedded in the entire saga. They had prequel references and things like that. So it's like, imagine if the Star Wars sequels didn't reference the prequels and only the original trilogy. But like, I feel like we got a real, and I love in Mandalorian and Grogu, and I love in a lot of the newer shows, like we're getting prequel era stuff in post Return of the Jedi and sequel era things. Like I love seeing all of the eras together. And I feel like, yes, I know that maybe Jurassic doesn't have that same kind of depth as far as just the amount of material or whatever, but I mean, we had in Dominion, we had the Barbasol can like show up, and it's just like, but it, but it just was like, I don't know. It just felt like you could do a little more with that, and then it would feel more altogether. It just is such a blink and you
Yeah.
miss it kind of thing.
I think Mandalorian and Grogu did it really well by they incorporated so many things into that movie that were references, but like you didn't necessarily need to know the context of those references. Like if you
No.
wanted to, you could know that the twins were in Boba Fett, and that Zeb was a part of Rebels, and Embo was
Yeah.
in the Clone Wars and all. So you could do that. You could deep dive if you want, but like they didn't mention that stuff, and it's not necessary to the story. Zeb's not like, well, remember when I was with Hera and
Yeah.
Sabine, like, yeah, no, he didn't need to do that.
Yeah.
He was just there, and it was great. And I guess they did it one time with. Did you see the movie, by the way?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that one, the one scene like where they had little Rada, whatever his name is, and
Rada.
yeah, they had his little picture from
Stinky.
like the Clone Wars, Stinky, and it was like that was like one little like, hey, you remember that?
Well, and yeah, I guess that's the thing that maybe, and I'm not sure how you feel about it now too, but it was just that there is this rich canvas to pull from Jurassic, and Rebirth felt like it kind of like it just didn't want to paint with those brushes. And I think even that sometimes when people first got annoyed with, Mandalorian, or like when we get a snow planet and it's not Hoth, or we get a desert planet and it's not Tatooine, it's like, I understand the idea that you don't want to necessarily go back to the same planets over and over again, but then like make a different looking planet. Like don't just have 5 desert
Don't
planets.
just
Like,
another desert one. Here we go again. Hate
yeah,
sand.
and
Yeah.
yeah, and so it's just one of the is that first snow planet in Mandalorian and Grogu, is that Hoth? Like,
I don't know. I mean, that's the
like
question. We're all still asking that about. I mean, people were wondering that about that planet in Starkiller Base or whatever, right? Like, was that Hoth transformed? I think it's got a name at this point, but
oh no, I think it's definitely Ilum from
Ilum, yeah.
Jedi Fallen Order. Fallen Order? Yeah.
Yeah, it,
Um
it it is, but like at one point it was like everybody's like, well, it's got snow, so it's got to be Hoth, right? Like, is that what they transformed? And so yeah, you're right. It's like it doesn't matter what the planet actually is. Like, it's always going to be Hoth, Tatooine, or whatever. Dagobah for a swamp. But I like
yeah,
that
and
we can have like different. We can expand it into different territories now, and they do trust the audience. I don't know. I don't know if they trust them too much anymore to come see their stuff. I don't. It's kind of a mess. So I guess in one way, like Frank Marshall is probably like sitting like there with Kathleen, just being like, "Yeah, I never wanted to put Jurassic on TV. This worked out for me."
yeah,
Live
I mean,
action,
yeah,
at
I
least.
think no, I don't think we need a Jurassic TV. I mean, I think Camp Cretaceous and Chaos Theory was the perfect way to do Jurassic on TV, but I mean, I wouldn't say no to it, obviously, but
No.
it's almost this thing of like, okay, well, we have. I mean, again, it's the Isla Sorna in the room. That has been such a thorn in everyone's side, where it's like
Yeah.
there's a second island of dinosaurs right there. Why, like, and even if you didn't want to recreate everything, you have 2 different versions of Sorna anyway, from Lost World and JP3, and like you could
Yeah.
just reference the JP3 version of it or the Lost World version of it. Like I could see a world where it's like, yeah, we're going to go back to the worker village from Lost World, or I mean, again, there, or even just you could go back to, I don't know, you could go back to San Diego, but I just mean the Isla Sorna of it all, of like,
Yeah.
it is just funny that they were like, no, there's just I mean, I was never against the idea of like a third island with dinosaurs. It makes sense that InGen would have like labs all over the world, but it is just funny where, again, it's that idea of, you have this great canvas, like why wouldn't you use it? You don't have to have every character come back. Like I do appreciate in Dominion that we see the like headshots of like Lauren Lapkus and Jake Johnson,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
but like having Barry show up for the Malta sequence was like such a perfect little like chef's kiss on having that character
Yeah.
come back. Like it was the perfect way to, like, that to me is one of the best lore handling. Same thing with Zia and Franklin. Like I think that they handled those characters having their moment and maybe you could even bring him back again. I didn't know this till recently that Zia was supposed to be the handler at the airport where Ellie and
Mm.
Alan go and they meet the baby Nasutoceratops.
Oh yeah, that would have been cool.
Remember, because there's that park
Yeah.
ranger woman that was
Yeah.
originally supposed to be Daniela Pineda, but because she was in New Zealand, for like in COVID stuff, basically couldn't get out.
Dang. Yeah. COVID. Man, what the hell? Come on.
We want to
Why'd you have
see
to
the
go in?
Zia cut where they CGI her back in,
I want Jake Johnson in there somewhere too. Zia, come on. Oh,
because
I
I
mean,
because I think
well,
that's
we did get like a Doctor Who actress in there. I forget. I'm blanking on her name, but she was that
oh yes, yeah.
ranger person. But yeah, she was great. But yeah, yeah, it's a mess. COVID really changed that movie, I guess, in a lot of ways. But we'll never get that back.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, do you think yeah, it's honestly like hard to predict where because yeah, maybe there is things like you could do we could do an episode of like top 5 lingering things. Like, I spent a lot of time because Caleb was staying with me last summer. We saw Rebirth a couple of times together.
Yeah.
And that was a lot of the stuff we were talking about. It's like, okay, what are these like lingering moments? Like who's the person that runs um what's the other corporation, Parker Genetics.
Gen X. Yeah.
And there's like certain moments you could be like, oh, you could tease those out into sequel things. But if you watch Jurassic Park, like, could you tease anything from Jurassic Park that would make the Lost World make sense? Like, in a way, it is like there's nothing from Lost World that you would be like, oh, they hinted at that in Jurassic Park. So it could really be anything.
Yeah, they kind of just came and did their own thing, and obviously established, a completely new set of rules with a new island and everything. But like, yeah, Jurassic Park just leaves you, and the only lingering question you may have probably is just like, man, what's gonna happen with that island? Anybody gonna ever go back to that place? And that's about it. Like, you don't have like,
Yeah.
it's not like very specific. Like, who's going to go back? Is Alan going to be the one to do this or that? And you don't really think that way. I don't think about that movie. It just kind of ends, and
Yeah.
that's what this movie does too. But I think in our brains now we're contemplating, because we've had 7 movies, right? Where now we're like, now we can't help but think this, films have trained us to think this, Marvel, Star Wars. But I think at this point you can't even just pick right up, because Bella, Isabella is going to be too old probably at this point. She's not going to look
Yeah.
exactly like she looked on the boat. So you can't just like start again on the boat. But I don't know. I was thinking about it the other day. I was like, what if there's a scene in the beginning of the next movie? They're in the boat and they had just dropped the family off at the dock, and you see the family walking away and they're like, bye, bye. And then they start their adventure with Zora, Loomis, and Duncan.
Oh,
And you
wow.
see the family kind of walking away, and that way you reference that they're there kind of, but like you can't see that she's now, however old she is. And yeah, I don't know. I think you could do something like that and then continue the story
Sure.
somewhere else.
I mean, it's funny to me because when it comes to like, oh, lingering moments, it's interesting that um Teresa says that she's going to NYU for college. So in my head, like
Mm.
the second movie opens and like Teresa is like the intern for Loomis. She decides to go and study paleontology, and like you don't necessarily have I can't remember that actor's name, but you don't necessarily have her like be in the whole movie, but you could have her be like how Lex and Tim are in The Lost World, where you just get to be like, okay, cool, we know the family's doing well, we hear about Dolores, and it's just like, she just goes to Scarlett Johansson. It's just like, oh yeah, like this internship is so great. Like thanks to this, like you get a safe place for Dolores to get into the country. You get to hear a little update, but you don't necessarily need to see the whole family again or something. Like that's a way that like they could reference the family without necessarily having, I mean, I don't know. Do you ever want a Jurassic Park movie without kids?
No,
without
Not
kids in the movie.
really.
Like, I kind
I
of feel
think
like
you
that's
gotta have them.
what's essential to Jurassic. Like, that to me
Yeah.
is what makes Jurassic Park, is you at least have kids there to contrast the thing.
I
But
constantly hear that question, and it's like, or I see it online about like, oh, why do they keep having kids? I'm like, because that's what this movie franchise is built on. I mean, even the novel too, but like, it's built upon that family dynamic, family struggles, kids in dire situations. That's a Spielberg, staple, and it
yeah.
has to be a part of it. I don't think you could make one now at this point without that being a part of it, and it can be dangerous. Battle at Big Rock was really dangerous. There was that kid strapped into that seat was horrifying. Um,
Yeah.
so yeah, I don't know. I think you have to have like kids in it, and I think I love that idea of picking up in New York. And I wonder if they would like have maybe they could have another character come in, but like focusing in on Jonathan Bailey's big enough. You could have him lead a movie.
Yeah.
And then you have Teresa come in, and maybe the two of them plus maybe somebody else. It's not Duncan or Zora. And maybe Jonathan's like, I got a situation down here, and it's her on the phone. Zora's on the phone. We can't come to the phone. It's like I could see they're referencing like the Budapest thing from like
Yeah.
the Avengers. Like, how they kind of reference that, but you never actually really know much about what happened there. And you could see
Yeah.
her and Duncan on some mission that's happening that we're a little busy, we can't handle it.
Yeah.
And then they have to figure out a way, and then that's where Jurassic City comes in, right? Jurassic City, and then
Yeah.
we can have whatever that movie is. I don't know. Just in New York
Yeah.
City, it'll be like Godzilla '98 all over again. You got
I mean,
raptors in the garden,
oh, hell yeah. Oh my God. We got to get they just use the footage and they just put the raptors over the
just
Godzilla
reskin
monsters.
it. Yeah, Hank Azaria's there filming like with an ancient like film camera for some reason still.
Yeah. Look, we got those old actors who are gold leader and red leader in Rogue One,
Yes.
So,
Yes. Oh my God,
we
that was
could,
amazing that they did that.
I mean, we never got I remember our conversation. We talked about like a de-aged, like going back, like to how Indiana Jones went back to like a previous time. Like, it would be
Seriously.
interesting to do a sequence where you have it at Jurassic Park in 1993 and have it tie back to the
Mhm.
new adventure. Like, if that's what we're really going to do. I think Caleb and I talked about, how you see the very end of the, oh my God, Distortus Rex attack,
Mhm.
that starts Rebirth. What if you start Rebirth 2 with an even earlier sequence in that era? So it's like you could flash back to this because they invented this new 2010 era on this island. What if you constantly flash back to that era and you see either like Wu coming from Nublar, or even have
Nice.
like Bryce
Nice.
Dallas Howard be on the phone, like should we let our new operations manager like know about this island? And it's like Wu's like, it's fine, just ways to like tie back to the lore that feel, again, in the way that nowadays Star Wars is especially honoring the prequels, just ways that you could
Yeah.
honor the previous Jurassic Park entries without necessarily like, I don't know. I just think people have been so clever. I mean, I think Thunderbolts is just so clever with the way that it incorporated that
So good.
entire mishmash of Marvel characters, or like Randall Park and Kat Dennings showing up in WandaVision. Like, there's just,
Just doing like sleight of hand magic or whatever he's doing. Yeah.
yeah,
I so
yeah, it's like,
you brought up Thunderbolts, but like what's his name? From Monarch. Did you ever watch that? I forget.
I still haven't watched Monarch, but now that
So
I've seen Godzilla, I want to.
you got it, because like that's what they do so well is they have Kurt Russell and then they have Wyatt. They're playing the same guy in different
Yeah,
eras, and it's so cool. Like Jurassic could do that so well of having like current day and then somebody in the past or something. It doesn't even have to be the same guy. It just can be like two different eras with stories that are very similar. Like I kind of pitched it on the Monarch episodes of like This Is Us. Did you ever watch that? It's
yeah,
like
yeah,
very much how that show like did that same thing, but those are same characters as well. But like just showcasing Maisie or Charlotte, I guess, back in
yeah.
the old park, and like the older actor, not older, but like the actress who played like in adult Charlotte. That would be so cool to have her doing something, and then like I don't know,
Yeah,
I just
be a
would love them
character.
to utilize this stuff and actually like trust that, like, man, that would be really cool. I guess people hate Maisie though. I don't know.
Well, it's funny because, and it's in my head because, Star Wars, maybe it's easier in the sense that like you are creating an entirely different world, but obviously they've been able to recreate certain elements of, original trilogy era look and, getting, with Andor and Rogue One and Obi-Wan doing like, or, just different things from the original trilogy. And that Super Bowl ad for Jurassic Park, like they had to recreate a ton of original
Yeah.
1993 Jurassic Park stuff. So like it can be done if they
Yeah.
wanted to do stuff in the past. Like you could recreate stuff from the original Jurassic Park movies. Like
And
you
they're
could
they're
do
doing
it.
that right now on like the Universal soundstage or something. I don't know if you saw that thing that they've got the
Oh, the
Explorer there.
yes. Well, I mean, I went to FanFest, which had the like FanFest recreated, or no, they basically took all the props and things from the studio
Yeah.
tour and then other stuff. So they like had the gate back up, they had the
Yeah.
Lost World Hummer, they had the Mercedes, they had the not the trailer. No, they did
Well,
have the trailer.
what was this other thing? There was another thing though. I don't know if you saw it. I
Oh,
forget what it was
I don't
called.
know if I saw this.
It's
Also, I'm
literally
not
like
just wearing a
it's
muscle. Oh, I was gonna say I'm not just wearing a muscle tee. By the way, it is a Jurassic Park Japanese.
dude, I love I love that style. I mean, like, yeah, I've got like was the wrong side over here. Oh, look at that.
Oh yeah,
Empire. Oh, it's
Japanese
so good.
Empire Strikes
I
Back.
love
That's awesome.
It's so good. But no, in one of the sound stages, they actually had an explorer with an actress who's playing Ellie, and there's like kind of volume-esque stuff happening in the background, and they're filming it, and it looks so cool. I'll have to send it to you.
Oh
I forget what it was.
yeah,
What
please,
the account
yeah.
was, but yeah, it was awesome to see. So I mean, it's perfectly doable, and if you do have a volume, place, I think you could do it. I mean, when I watched Mandalorian and Grogu, there's no moment of that movie where I'm like, this was shot on a soundstage. No, it all looks so real. It looks so good. It looks
I
so
mean,
good.
lots of Jurassic Park was shot on a soundstage. It's it's
Yeah,
not.
yeah, exactly. I mean, like they blend that so well when it's at daytime and the trucks are rolling through. Looks the
Yeah,
same. That's the same place at nighttime.
yeah,
Just,
yeah,
but it's not. Like that's the cool
yeah,
part. It's
yeah.
it's so good. But yeah, I don't know. I probably kept you here way too long. I didn't mean to
No,
go this
no,
long,
this is
but
fun. It's great to catch up. It's always great to chat. Again, it's still funny that we've never met in person. You were out here for a little bit, but you guys got a lot done on that family trip out here, I feel like.
I know. Yeah, we were kind of all over the place from San Francisco down to Disneyland, and yeah, kind of pit stop. We didn't go into Universal, but we like went to City Walk and stuff like that. And
Sure, yeah.
but yeah, I think next time I actually have to get into Universal again because I want to take the kids out there. We almost did it that past time, but yeah, definitely next time we got to make this
Yeah.
happen. And
Well,
I
you
wish
got to
I
do the
wish like there
Jurassic
was.
World ride.
Well, I have. I did it with Caleb once,
Oh,
and
that's right. Yes.
it's awesome. And yeah, shout out to Caleb. We were talking about Rebirth before, but like, I think doing those music episodes with him helped me appreciate that movie a lot more. So like,
They're great episodes. Yeah, I was listening
thank you.
to. I
But
was
like,
catching up with them recently.
it just makes me feel more excited about those movies, and just hearing the music and hearing, honestly, like it's mostly the scenes that you don't even hear the music in the movie, that when we put it back in, it's like, wow, okay, I wish I had this. Like that would have been so cool. But yeah, besides the point, I just shout out to Caleb. But
Well,
yeah,
I wanted to say earlier, you guys should do the Sega Genesis music, because that to me is just as iconic as any John Williams music. It's very different, but it's
you're
just
right. You're right. Oh, it's the best, man. And like the music now, like that I have, it has the sound effects like the lightning, and it has like the like the Dilophosaurus sounds and stuff like that, like mixed
yeah.
into it already. It's so good. I love that score is so good. Even dude, like when there's like a screen in the beginning of that game that I think you're reading something, and it's just like
Yeah.
it's so cool.
Yeah.
Oh man. because me and Caleb once did the theme park music. We went through all the
Yeah,
songs that
yeah.
were used like in Islands of Adventure and stuff like that. So it's not off the table. I think we got to get through Jurassic Park 3 first, probably in like the next month or so. I don't know if I got to figure that one
Uh,
out. But yeah,
yeah,
anyway, thank you, man. I appreciate you coming here.
of course.
What are you doing? What's going on? What do you got?
Ooh, well, Jurassic June, I put out a compilation of all the original episodes that wildlife illustrator Andrea Ciafalo, aka Strange Bird Art. It was my excuse to ask her to draw our favorite dinosaurs in 2024. And then this year we did the dinosaurs that we hate. And so I have my Hammond collection Concavinator, which is the dinosaur that I hate. You know, if you're listening, I'm air quoting, but it's just a freaky little guy. And so I just wanted to learn more about it, and obviously talked about it, you know, because when we talk about our favorite dinosaurs or our least favorite dinosaurs, we talk about the, you know, when it was discovered, you know, facts about it, what people know, and then also like representations in pop culture. So in this year's series and the original one, obviously Jurassic gets talked about a lot because in the original series, Carnotaurus is my favorite dinosaur, one of my favorite dinosaurs. So we covered its like, you know, from the Lost World video game and the book, and then representation in Fallen Kingdom and Dominion. And then I'm interviewing at the end of the month Dr. Dean Lomax, who wrote this amazing book called The Secret Lives of Dinosaurs. So there we go.
Yeah.
I'm interviewing him, and that he is such a joy to talk to. It's like, and again, talking to Steve Brussati and, you know, the Rise and Fall of Dinosaurs and Story of Birds, like talking to original paleontologists, talking to paleontologists has been really exciting again. And then I'm very excited because Corey Anderson, who, you know, from Jurassic Outpost, and we did a Jurassic Park trivia episode back in the day, but he is a lawyer. So we did a Justice for Gennaro episode where Corey talks about his own experience wanting to become a lawyer and becoming a lawyer kind of because of Gennaro, and just all the different aspects about Jurassic Park of like, you know, if you know, like what are the like, you know, when you go to that park, what kind of NDA, what kind of like waiver did they sign, what kinds of damages, you know, we went through kind of the lawness of like Gennaro himself, like what kind of lawyer he was, but then also just like all the legal implications of something like Jurassic Park, like what would happen in the real world, you know, if this went down, like is the island under the law of the US, like where InGen is based, or is it under Costa Rican law? And so Corey is so brilliant and just kind of like walks me through all these like
That's
lawyer
so good.
questions and law questions. So that comes out, I believe, next week. So if you've ever wanted to just hear an episode basically all about Gennaro, we had to give him his due. Do you know what I mean?
There's never been one done before, so this is the definitive. That's gonna be the definitive version. I can't wait to listen to it. That's the kind
Yeah.
of stuff that I love to listen to. Is like, you know, I did an episode really early on, like in probably the first year, all about like the theme park elements and stuff of Jurassic Park and like what was so severely lacking. And like it kind of, I feel like that kind of episode and this Gennaro one, they work well together because you're like really honing in on like what was going on for real and like what would have been happening behind the scenes, and that's awesome. I can't wait to listen to that one.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I think
and
it's,
no, go ahead.
oh no, go ahead. Oh, I was just going to say, I think again, it's this like, because the podcast will also, I've interviewed, you know, comic book writers and musicians about like what their Jurassic Park is, you know, I think there is
Mhm.
still, you know, again, I am, from And That's Why We Drink, we talked about Back to the Future and theme parks, like, so even if it's not necessarily Jurassic Park focused, it's still, the energy is coming from the same place. Or, you know, I'm obviously going to be talking to more scientists, you know, coming up later this year. So it's just one of those like, there'll always be somebody passionately talking about something. But I think like the beginning of our conversation, I'm also finding ways to like, okay, what's an element of Jurassic Park I haven't really thought about in a while? Or what's an element about dinosaurs or Spielberg or, you know, other sci-fi movies from the era? Like I just did, my friend Stephanie, who's a software engineer, she came in for her first episode and she talked all about the computer engineering of Jurassic Park. And then we did a follow-up episode where we talked about Hackers and the Net, which were two other computer software
Yeah.
engineer hacking movies from the 90s. So it's like kind of continuing those themes. So I think that's like been a big part of the podcast lately, is like certain aspects of, or like even, because lots of the stuff that we like are featured at comic book convention, like at Comic-Con and stuff. So I've had a lot of like convention conversations with like Heather Antos, the creator of Gwenpool, or Jordan Morris, who's been working on the Predator comics. So like it's just like the culture of Jurassic Park can extend out even further. When Caleb and Samantha Indris and our friend Natalie, when the three of us covered Alien Earth, like that kind of thing. Like it's all, and Alien Earth is kind of very Jurassic in a way. Like part of it takes place on an island with a lab, and
Very
something gets
much,
let
yeah.
loose. So yeah, it's all in the mix.
Yeah, I love those. I love all that stuff. I mean, your dinosaur episodes and even the ones you hate, you learn a lot. Like, and I feel like I'm learning about this
Thank you.
stuff because I say it all the time to Connor. I'm like, I have no idea what I'm like. That's why I have Connor to come on this show and be like, hey, here's what dinosaurs are really like, or whatever. And I couldn't hold that conversation with Steve Rosati the way that you or Connor could. So I appreciate you guys holding up that end of the
No, I mean,
spectrum there, because I have no clue what's going on with that.
and that's the thing too. It's like, obviously we all love this stuff, and we all have unique perspectives. And so like, both Connor and I talked to Steve, but like our conversations were like completely different.
Yeah,
And it was so
completely
much fun to
different stuff.
listen to. Is like, I mean, I always have to do that thing where I always want to like do my thing first, so I'm not like stealing people's questions or anything. And then I go back and
Yeah.
I'm like, oh yeah, of course that's never going to happen, because Connor obviously is so brilliant, and I had him on See Jurassic Right finally.
Yeah.
And that was such a really wonderful conversation. And so then listening to like his episodes, then listening to his conversation, like it just feels like you're like, and then Roland, from The Road to Rebirth, like I feel like Caleb and I were kind of like responding when Caleb came on See Jurassic Right again at the start of this year. It was like, oh, we were responding to an episode of his Road to Rebirth podcast. It just became like, we need to make playlists where it's like you can like listen to like all of our conversations on our podcast together. Like you could do the Brad Jost and Stephen Ray Morris playlist.
Yeah. Because I feel like I do that all the time too, where I'm like, they were saying this thing on that episode, and I'm like, yeah, that was really cool. Yeah, you need to have like that chronological playlist.
Yeah.
So you can hear everybody respond to everybody, but just not directly.
Yeah, no, we're just
weeks,
we're just texting when we're listening. Or sometimes I'll text you when I'm listening to an episode, or that kind of thing of like, oh, this thing, and you're like, I don't remember what I said.
Oh no, I never remember a single thing. I don't remember what I said today, but I appreciate you being here to listen to me ramble for a little bit. I don't think I talked about anything really today, but I appreciate you doing it.
No, it was great to catch up. And yeah, I mean, again, I think both you and I are like, all right, like, when is anything going to happen? Like, well, we're just going to enjoy ourselves. And like, I think we'll just be there for the ride this time,
Yes, I gotta like breathe and just kind of enjoy it, take it in. Chill.
Life finds a way.
Yes.
Life finds a way.